Hello there, people of the internet. Sometimes whenever I make videos, I really enjoy the topics that I'm talking about. And one of the things I really enjoy is complete and utter self-sustainment. And bear in mind that self-sustainment does not equate to self-production. Self-sustainment is keeping what you have running for as long as possible. It is not necessarily making 100% of your own things from scratch. Whenever I say, hey, this thing is homemade, typically people will say, well, what about that part? That's not homemade. Or what about that part? That's not homemade. Like completely homemade ammunition. I've made a couple of videos about that. And I've had a bunch of people say, well, that brass isn't homemade, or things like that. And I'm just like, guys, the bloody rifle isn't homemade. I'm betting that a lot of your survival stuff isn't homemade either. But the idea is to use homemade things to keep whatever it is that you have running for as long as possible. So I made some completely homemade fighting rifle ammunition, and there were a couple of things to take into consideration. One, homemade projectiles, that means cast bullets. Cast bullets have a maximum velocity, if you like really push them, of about 2,200 feet per second before you start to get significant losses in accuracy and significant leading issues. I try to keep them more about 2,000 feet per second, but the slower they're moving, the more accurate that they are. Homemade gunpowder. Most people whenever they make homemade powder, they make like black powder. There's some exceptions to that, but most people are making black powder. However, in a modern age style of fighting rifle, you don't want to run black powder because it's got to be something that's semi-auto. So I have experimented with making homemade smokeless powder. I've even got a couple of videos up of me running that. Do I happen to have my recipe over here? I do not. But it's an ammonium nitrate based smokeless powder, and again, I've made videos on it. If I forget to put links to those videos, if I have multiple up so far, somebody remind me down in the comments below, and I'll go ahead and throw it up if anyone is interested. But I got the homemade smokeless powder, which burns at a relative rate similar to 4350, but I think that it burns a little bit hotter and a little bit faster than that. The cast bullets I decided to use, I cast up some 312 diameter projectiles, which is the size that you would want to run through 7.62 by 39. That is the cartridge I ultimately decided to go with because any, say, 308 rifle, just because of the velocity limitations of the cartridge, it probably is not going to cycle a semi-auto 308. And a 5.56 cartridge, well, with 5.56, you really can't get that heavy of a bullet. And again, you're limited on velocity. 5.56 gets its effectiveness from velocity. However, 7.62 by 39, you could load those to maximum spec with a heavyweight cast lead bullet, and they're going to hit super hard downrange, and it is absolutely going to cycle that firearm because it's loaded to spec ammunition. So ultimately, I decided that was the way to go. If I had a 300 blackout, then that would probably be what I went with, just because of the options that I have with that particular cartridge. But that's kind of beyond the scope of this video because I decided to go with 7.62 by 39 and run it through an AK. So on top of the homemade smokeless powder and the cast 185 grain projectiles with a gas check, proper lube, all of the things that go into casting lead bullets, I also reloaded my primers using match heads. I've tried a bunch of different things to reload primers, but the best results I've gotten was taking match heads and like just match powder. It's when you crush up match heads into a nice fine powder, and then you take like a knife or something and you scrape the little striker on the box to get that residue off of it, and then you mix it together, typically 75% match head powder to 25% box striker powder, and you stuff those into your primers, and they work relatively well. Well, what I do is I take that powder and I mix it with just a little bit of rubbing alcohol to turn it into a paste. And then I pack it into the primer, and it holds itself together way better, and it's way more reliable. So this is the range test of completely homemade fighting rifle style ammunition in 7.62 by 39, and I think that's probably the best cartridge that I could have gone with. There we go. Alright, testing for the homemade ammunition. This is the second test. We actually fired it off camera just to make sure it didn't blow up the gun, because I don't want that on the internet. Kentucky Ballistics is brave for what he put up. That will not be me. Alright, we're going to see if this stuff cycles. We're going to see where it hits. These are 185 grain bullets, homemade cast. The gas checks are homemade. The primers were reloaded with match head primers. And this is my ammonium nitrate based smokeless powder. Let's see if she goes. Oh, come on, baby, don't be like that. Oh, come on, baby, don't be like that. Oh, to be fair, this actual magazine that I'm working with here kind of sucks, because that was definitely a magazine issue, not an ammo issue. Should have brought a different mag. All right, I got this rifle zeroed for 500 yards because its original zero is for 123 grain ammo, which travels much faster than these 185 grain bullets that I'm using. So that makes sense. It would probably hit lower. So right now we're just going to kind of function test this bad boy, but I will see if we can hit our target out there. You ready? There's one. Ah, she cycles. And I hear a smack in the wood out there. Hopefully this is working. Hell yeah. Dude. Okay. Other than the magazine issues, that worked really well. But yeah, this particular magazine, this is a 5-round mag, and I have it just for hunting purposes, for legality reasons. And fully loaded, that first round doesn't work very well. We'll hunt down the brass later. Yep, I'll go through there because we got a bunch of brass here to shoot. I'll gather what I can find. Place your bets, gents. You think we're getting keyholes? I think we're doing fine at the velocities we're pushing. Yep. So we're hitting high. I was aiming center mass here, and I see, where do we see them? Okay. I see some unmarked rounds right here. Yeah, so I'm going to bring that zero down to about 3, maybe even 100, and we'll see if we smack. Because here's our rounds, but I don't see any keyhole issues. That one's been marked. That was a keyhole, so that's not mine. We got 1, 2, 3, probably 4. I see a mark there. 4, probably 5. So that's a pretty gosh darn decent group right there. This might be promising, boys. Yeah, this might be something, I might have done something good here.
Well, now you got to translate it into a commercially available powder. Figure out something for the masses there.
Yeah, unfortunately that takes a bunch of licensing, and this powder is corrosive, so you got to clean your gun, and people don't like that, and nah, insert complaint here. Then I got the liability issues for the people who overcharge their guns, and they're like, no, it's Sean's homemade powder, it's not my fault. So that was a 500 yard zero, and those are hitting higher. That's really strange. Normally your slower bullets hit lower than what you normally have your rifle zeroed for. So I'm just gonna zero this for 100 yards, and we'll see if she goes. I'm impressed, realistically, with how well that worked. Of course, we ain't out of the woods yet. With how fast we're pushing it, and these are gas check, these are hard cast rounds, but I wonder how many rounds we get till we start losing accuracy. That's the big question, because I don't know what the rifling in the AK-47's like. I know it's got about a 1 in 10 twist. It's like a 1 in 9.5 something, because of how they do their metric system.
That sounds good.
Huh?
That sounds good with the 185.
Oh yeah, that's probably why we're going to get fairly decent accuracy here. It's amazing that there's not more load data for a 185 through an AK or a 7.62 by 39. All right, another 5 rounds. Now I got a 100 yard zero. Ah, that one chambered. This magazine really does suck. I should probably get a new one. This is my hunting magazine. There's 1. There's 2. 3. There's 4. There's 5. Whew, that powder stinks, dude.
I was expecting some duds since this is just match head reloaded powder. But what I did was I took some isopropyl alcohol and I mixed it with the batch to turn it into a paste, put it in the primers, let that dry and solidify inside the primer itself, and that seems to greatly help with reliability. They're over here gathering my brass for me. Aren't you guys so sweet?
And
Oh, fantastic. So we know the general area of where they're going to be.
they went, all of them went flying over this limb right here.
Well, that's probably a good thing.
So, yeah. And thankfully this is, oh, number 5.
Fantastic. Hey.
You fired 6 rounds.
I fired 5 rounds.
Okay, maybe this one of them might be from the previous, but
Yeah, previous batch. Because I've done 2 rounds of
all
10
are hot
rounds.
except for this one, so that's why. Okay,
Excellent.
So we got 6 rounds.
All right. Where I'm curious about is the accuracy. Hopefully we have some rounds on paper out here. I'll have to mark down for the AK with this load to use a 100-yard zero. Because with brass 7.62 by 39, 123 grain at 100 yards, it would also be right on. But with steel 123 grain bimetal jackets, you have to bump it up to a 300-yard zero. I see rounds on paper. Da-da-da-da. Okay, we had 1 flyer. That might have been me, but dude, that's a fist-sized group. Dude, that's fucking awesome. Hell yeah, I'm really pleased with that. Now that's sweet. That is sweet. Other than our 1 flyer, which is because the sun was in my eyes and I'm tired and dehydrated and insert other excuse here.
That's impressive.
That's nice.
Impressive,
Yeah, for completely homemade ammo. That's sweet. I wish that we had a means to be able to test like power, like ballistic gel or something. That would be cool to have. Man.
Got my steel plate.
Oh, you brought your steel. Well, why don't we go ahead and set that bad boy out here somewhere?
Put it right at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do that. Lean against there. That'd be,
Yeah, that'd be
especially
perfect.
with that lead.
We'll see how hard it smacks it.
Yeah.
So 100-yard zero.
See, it hasn't been painted in a while.
Oh, that's okay. Should be able to see it on there. You know, judging by the recoil of this, it doesn't have as much recoil as normal AK
Didn't
rounds
look
do.
like it. Yeah. I doubt that you're really doing that.
Yeah, I doubt that I'm pushing the boundaries
I
here.
think you're probably true.
I think
Which is
you're right.
fine.
Yeah.
Which is
For
perfect.
this heavyweight bullet
Yeah.
from an intermediate
Hey, that's
cartridge,
perfect. Okay, it doesn't have a really sharp crack
nope.
to it. So for what you would want it for serious social purposes, that could be a good thing in the
Oh,
future.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, this might be legitimately a legitimate test.
I would agree. That's a great concept there.
I will definitely have to develop it. See, originally what I was going to do with this is I was going to load up 308 with these bullets and try running them through a 308 rifle, but getting a 308 semi-auto to cycle with this velocity, this grain weight ammo, it probably would not be as reliable.
Problematic, yeah.
So I was over here thinking to myself, what do I have that I could run these in? 7.62 by 39. In all reality, that's probably a better cartridge to do this with.
Should have brought out with you an SKS2 and do
I
a
should have brought the
side-by-side
SKS.
on there. Well, next trip.
Yeah, next trip.
Do a side-by-side on there.
But realistically, I didn't think that this was going to be working as well as it does.
Yeah, it's
I was expecting to sit here and say, it went bang. That's good enough for me to keep developing this.
Yeah.
But it's going bang, and we got half-decent accuracy out at a fair distance.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I can't see that target at all.
Yeah.
Is it in the center?
No, bottom right.
Bottom right.
That last target
Uh-huh.
on the right, it's just about to the right of it.
Oh, I
okay,
see
I
it, like,
see it, yeah.
lean down there.
Yeah, I barely see it. Yeah.
Just barely.
Just barely. Well, hell, I don't think I can hit that. I mean, I could try. I'll give it a shot.
Well, you can get down there. You could stand about 25, 30 feet away, maybe. And
Yeah, I guess I could do a standing shot.
Yeah.
We'll see. We will see. I don't know. If I had jacketed bullets to where I get probably about 2 MOA, I could probably hit that. But that's a fist-sized group at 50 yards. For, fighting accuracy, cast bullets, homemade ammo, that's awesome. But for precision shooting, not so much. Okay. Let's go ahead. Really smell that homemade bullet lube here. Bullet lube is a secret recipe I discovered completely on accident while I was drinking whiskey. Okay, I was doing bullet things and automotive things at the same time, and I spilt some stuff, and I was like, I wonder how well this is gonna work. Turns out it works fantastically. Wow. We see the results. That's what I'm using here. Okay, I guess I'm gonna try and smack that steel out there. We'll see if it works. Y'all ready?
Yep.
Gonna hit it?
High.
High?
Yep. Skim the ground and hit it.
I'll take it. I will take it.
I think
I heard it.
Nice. I'll take that too. All right, I got 2 shots left. I'm gonna aim for one of those other paper targets. I'm gonna really take my time with these. I want to see how good of a group I can get. I can't even see those other paper targets that well. I'm gonna aim for that black circle again, right in the center. Actually, I'll aim at the top of the circle. No, at the bottom of the circle, because these hit a little high. All right. We are clear. Let's go see what we got, gents. You know, this obviously isn't 30-06 power, but I would not want to get hit by it. Well, that's good. Yeah, the powder that I make is pretty consistent powder from the testing I've been able to make, or testing I've been able to do. That's really awesome. I am very pleased with how well this is working. Haven't had a single dud or hang fire.
Well, you know, things work out in life.
Yeah, every once in a while things work out in life. Now all I need is my finances to work out a little better. Crippling debt. That's cool. If I can smack a little tiny target like that with AK iron sights with this homemade ammo, that's absolutely halfway decent ammo. Oh yeah, sure enough, I smacked it right there. Yep. That's a crotch shot if ever I've seen one. Try setting that like that. A little bit more view. All right, here's those rounds. The other ones I fired, I aimed at the bottom of the target. So I'm betting that this is probably one, because this is our original group of 4. That's 5. So we got 1, and that's probably 2 right there, because that doesn't have a mark on it. Yeah. Dude, that's fucking awesome. That's very awesome.
Not too shabby.
So what happened on the...
We smacked it pretty good.
Right on the bottom.
Oh, So I fired 3 rounds. Looks like that's probably around there, and that's probably around there, because those don't got marks on them. And then I aimed 1 super low because he said I was hitting high, and that's what that one there is. Dude, hold on, feel that. That dented the plate. That dented the plate. Okay, this ammo's more potent than I thought it was.
Yeah, you got a legitimate jerk cartridge here.
Oh yeah. Something. Oh yeah, that's something. That is absolutely something right there, dude. Huh. That is fantastic. That'll do it. You got 5 rounds, my friend.
Okay.
Make them count.
Okay, did you shoot in the, I know you shot in the one all the way to the left. What about the one next to that?
Nope, I have not shot
Okay,
any other
that's the one
paper
I'm
targets.
aiming for.
Just the black circle.
And this is pretty much spot on?
Yep, that's spot on, 100 yards. Like literally spot on. I aimed at the bottom of the target and I was smacking the bottom of the target. Whew. It's smoky. That powder is smoky stuff.
Trying to see the sights with 72-year-old eyes.
Oh yeah. Believe me, I understand your issue. I definitely understand the issue. Nice. Yeah, that brass, it goes flying, but it doesn't exactly get sent to orbit.
Oh yeah.
So that's awesome. That tells me that this really is like a mild loaded 7.62 by 39.
I really was like, I could barely see that front sight. It was such a blur.
Oh yeah, believe me, I understand exactly how you feel. See, I can see the front sight, but this rear sight, I just can't see it at all.
No, I was having trouble with the front. So
Yep.
I'm there, yeah.
Yeah, I got like a sweet spot where I could see things halfway decent. It's kind of like picking up Easter eggs, except it's ammunition.
Yeah.
yeah, very consistently flying over here. That's really awesome.
3.
I'm betting we probably have a few that have smacked the actual tree and fallen over here, though.
Satellite.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's brass all over it. Satellite. Ah, here we go. Look what I found. All right, gents, let's wander on down there and see what we see. Look at how...
That's significantly lower recoil, though.
Oh, yeah. Than regular 7.62 by 39. Look at how clean the powder is. That brass is still shiny on the inside.
These are all denting.
Yeah, that's from the ejector. Oh yeah, 2400 would be a great cartridge or a great powder for that cartridge.
Yeah.
My issue is 2400 is expensive and hard to find.
Yeah, it's very hard to find. There's all of the Alliant powders have suddenly dried up. I was over there at Space Coast Bullets
Oh yeah?
last week, and I went in specifically for that. And Steve, the guy that I want you to meet over there, he was like laughing. He said, "Yeah, if I had it, I would hold it for you." So.
All right. I see 1, 2, 3, 4. That's yeah, that's not one. That's
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. That might be 5 right there. I don't see a mark on it. That's got a green mark. That's got a black mark.
Yeah.
Well, we see 4. Maybe this is 2 right in the same hole, because that
Kinda looks
yeah,
like
that hole looks a little bit bigger. Oh yeah, sure enough, I can feel right there in the wood. That is 2 holes right there. All right, cool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You hit your staple there, Steve. That's pretty good. You got 3 rounds like an inch from one another.
Devin, no more excuses. You're up to bat.
Yep. Time to swing. Magazine sucks. It really does. I should have grabbed a different one, but that was just the one that I found, and I'm like, I'm running late, gotta go now.
Yeah. It is what it is. Alright, I'm gonna go for that middle target.
Go for it, buddy.
So they all go flying over.
Yep, they go flying right over there. But see, with these rounds, I probably could push them faster, but since they're cast lead, the faster you push them, the less accurate you get. I think this is a good
Perfect.
middle
Yeah,
ground.
I wouldn't fiddle with it.
I think this is perfect. I might fiddle with it just because I like experimentation. But I got this particular load with the powders and the ratios and everything written down. I wonder how it would change if I were to use commercial primers, which is probably what I'm going to be doing, because making your own primers sucks.
That would be interesting. Yeah.
I'll have to test it. Yeah, I just wanted to see how well completely homemade ammo works. I'm sure some people are going to complain that, hey, the brass isn't homemade. I'm like, well, I'm betting that a lot of your self-sustainment gear is factory made as well. It's called self-sustainment, not self-production. Excuse me, sir, you're out of ammo. What do you think?
Not bad, actually.
Dude, I am blown away with how well this is working.
Yeah. Definitely see what you mean with the
2 of them didn't
front
go over
post.
the tree for some reason.
Well, that's all right.
Yeah.
They still cycled the gun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is more comfortable than actual 7.62 by 39. You know, I do have a 200 grain bullet mold at home.
Oh no.
You know what we call that? Good enough.
It's amazing that we're finding this much.
Oh yeah, I agree. Oh, I found it. Right by Steve's foot, still warm.
Okay.
It's amazing how consistent this ammo is. Of course, I guess all the powder is made the exact same way, weighed the exact same weight. All the ammo is, I mean, this is,
You're weighing every charge?
I'm weighing every charge.
Oh, that's good for consistency,
Yes, sir. Yeah, this is half decent ammo. Now, we've been shooting this for a minute now, and we're not seeing any loss of accuracy either. Normally, whenever you're dealing with cast lead rounds, you get a certain amount before lead starts to build up in the rifling and you lose accuracy. We're not seeing that, but that's probably because we're running relatively low velocities. And these are particularly hard cast bullets. Like, I'm pretty sure they are a 10% tin mix,
Oh, wow.
give or take. So,
Are you water quenching these?
yes.
Okay.
Yep, they were water quenched and 10% mix, so they're pretty hard cast.
Okay. I don't quench, basically because I kind of like them with the gas chuck. I kind of like them being soft and flattened out. I figure, okay, the gas chuck's going to go ahead and take care of the leading. and being softer lead, they're going to flatten out more. And
I would do that if I was running proper sized bullet, but these are slightly oversized.
oh, okay, yeah. Flattening out has a quality all its own.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I will give you that. Yes, it does. Of course, at the velocities we're running here, I'm willing to bet that we could probably get away with running softer lead bullets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's one of the things I really do like about 7.62 by 39, especially with these heavier bullets. We are having plenty of power downrange with them, but we're not pushing the lead to its limits. This is awesome. I'm glad this is working out as well as it is. All right, I'm gonna load me up a mag here. We got a couple rounds left, may as well fire them off. With how consistent the ammo is, and how well it's running, how accurate it is, the one thing that I was concerned about was these reloaded primers, because I've reloaded primers with match heads before, but this was the first time where I turned it into a paste with some alcohol and reloaded them like that, let them dry.
Now, what do you do? Are you like crushing them?
Yeah, mortar and pestle.
Powdering?
Yeah, mortar
Okay.
and pestle, get
Okay.
them into a powder, mix them together,
Okay,
and then turn them into a paste with some rubbing alcohol.
okay.
And then I just put them in the primer, seat the anvil on top of them, and
So you
Here we
you
are.
just collect old primers and like
yep,
take out the
take out the anvil.
the anvil thing and flatten them out.
Yep, flatten them out. I use a
Okay.
punch, and they're working pretty gosh darn well. Normally with my primers, whenever I reload them, I use, you guys know those cap guns, old school cap guns, they had like those paper caps?
Yeah.
I got a hole punch for paper, and I just punch out like 4 or 5 of those, and I just put them into the primer, and that's typically what I do whenever I reload primers, and it works relatively well. But these are working super, super well. These are probably a little bit more consistent than the paper, and the main reason why I didn't use the paper was because the paper will actually build up in the system and cause problems, and that's not what you want if you have a rifle that you're betting your life on.
Now, have you, out of curiosity, have you tried doing the primers on Berdan cartridges?
I know how to, and I'm actually working on a video where I convert them to boxer primers
Okay.
versus Berdan primers.
Right.
Berdan primers are a different size
They
than
are.
the standards
They
that we
are.
use here in the United States. But I discovered a video of somebody who took a 22 long rifle, shoved it into a Berdan primer hole, and then they swaged it,
Okay.
and they're able to seat large rifle primers into it, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, that's
That
very,
is.
very smart.
Because I was thinking that could solve some of your ammo problems where if you can find only find old stuff that's
Yep.
questionable firing, if the brass is still intact, if there's some way you could go ahead and
Get it converted over. And yeah, that's definitely something that I am looking into. All right, I went ahead and I just loaded up this mag. This is 11 rounds. Y'all ready? 10 plus 1 in the chamber. I am out of ammunition. They all fired flawlessly, dude.
Not a single hang up.
I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. Poor man's Garrett. It's a shame that bolt-action shotguns aren't more mainstream.